Hello? Is this working? Check, check. Okay. Um, I'm live. And the worst part of this is that 0 people are watching and probably 0 people will watch. So if you don't know why I'm here and you decide to watch, the answer is I lost. Well, I didn't lose. Actually, we tied, which is kind of crazy. Tied the episode, and I've learned me something. The punishment is I have to live stream for 4 hours. So I'm live streaming here, and Josiah is live streaming over on Twitch since we tied, and that's that. The nice thing is we didn't specify that any entertainment is required or anything. So you guys are gonna just enjoy to whoever would watch this. I don't know who that would be. You guys are gonna just enjoy my regular day. And it starts on Saturdays with waffles. So that's that. It'll be a lot of silence. And also, I should apologize. I was supposed to start at 9, but I had all sorts of issues getting set up. Mainly, I was going to do this on my phone, but when I went to do it, I just clicked the go live button. I thought it would be that simple. And then YouTube said, you can't do that unless you have at least 50 subscribers, which we do not. We have, I think, 35. And that's that. And then I tried to do it on my computer. It said I'd have a different browser. It's been the process. All that to say, I'm 20 minutes late. Don't hate me. So now the first thing you can enjoy is me just kind of silently eating these waffles. If anyone has any questions, there are 0 people here, so I don't think that'll happen. But if anyone does, you can ask me. And that's that. Mallory's sitting across the table. She's politely requested to not be on camera. But since our morning, we might chat a little bit. Again, I'm not talking to anybody because no one's on the live. And that's it. I'm gonna eat this waffle and text Josiah and let him know I'm on. See how his live stream is going. Mm-hmm. Just like I said, oh, I've been watching. Super. Josiah, are you watching right now? Text me if you're watching right now. I'm gonna see if I can find his stream. I'm trying to find. So Josiah's streaming on Twitch. I'm trying to find it. Oh, I found it. It's called Learn Podcast, all one word, and the description just says just chatting.
Oh, that's nice, dear. Okay.
It is. We are kind of live stream chatting.
Top chat.
Josiah, if you can hear mine, I'm trying to comment on yours, but I don't have a Twitch account, so I have to sign up.
Okay. Okay. I gotta log in. Okay. Let's see if this can be okay. Hang in there. Gotta log in. Oh, this is probably not a good thing to do while I'm live stream. Just gonna... Log in. Torch like. Back. Okay. Fitzy. Hey.
Uh-oh.
He's gonna chat very laggily.
I think so. All right, I'm muting you. I'm going back to my live stream.
change. Okay. How do you?
I want to jump on here real fast and apologize to my people watching my live stream instead of Josiah's. His is way cooler. He has like
Oops.
he has comments
That's so many
popping up on the
questions.
screen, and he's like mirroring his screen and
Wait,
stuff.
what is he saying?
It's way cool.
Chat pause due to scroll. I'm still. Oh, he's still here. Maybe you've been the viewer my entire time.
That's Twitch, baby. Josiah, this is one of the weirder things we've done.
Yeah, I do. It might be. Maybe I should put on headphones.
It's
I wonder what
lagged.
it sounds like with Caleb's voice coming onto my stream.
It's lagged by like a full minute.
We should record an episode like this where you just get like 15 seconds of lag. Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna test it. I'm talking. It's
Here, clap when you see this, Caleb.
11 minutes.
Clap with me. 3, 2, 1.
Count.
2, 3,
Okay, you'll count.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 seconds.
Perfect. Piece of cake.
Yeah, when I saw you clap, that was 24 seconds. So I'm it's probably mute you.
Yeah, I'm going to mute you as well because this is too
I'm
confusing.
kind of having a good time though.
I'm having fun.
I could see how it'd be nice if you had like a little crowd here, just chatting it up, talking, answering questions.
Thanks for the waffles, Mal. Okay, everyone. Thank you for waiting in peace while I ate my waffles. I didn't want it to be 15 minutes of live stream of just pure chewing noises because I put peanut butter on them and that's not live stream material. Oh, thanks, Josiah. Thanks for welcoming me back. So, what should we do? Since we're doing my normal morning routine, the next thing I would do is read my Bible. So, this might be a little odd, but I've got you for 4 hours. And by you, I mean absolutely no one. So we're gonna do a little Bible study. What do you say? What do you say, friends? Josiah loves Bible reading stream. So, to Josiah and anyone else listening, also Josiah, if you need to mute me to make your own live stream more successful, I get it. Also, I appreciated your story of the first, your first human reboot. It was fun. If you're not on Josiah's stream, which you're not, because Josiah's the only one on my stream, and I'm the only one in his. Tell the fun stuff. But I think we're gonna upload this so you can go back and watch this. So if you happen to be watching 24 minutes into this for no reason, Josiah told a fun story of having some nose procedure stuff and falling asleep. That's it. I kind of came in halfway through the story, so I didn't get all the juicy details, but that's what I gathered. Okay, people. Today is Saturday. At the time, Josiah's bouncing. Later, Josiah. At the time of recording this, it's Saturday morning. So this evening, Chaz Upton, who has taught on this podcast before, is preaching a sermon in our church's series called Summer in the Psalms. So every week they do a psalm. And he's doing this evening a song of ascent, which is Psalm 121, titled My Help Comes from the Lord. Valerie's sitting on the other side of the table, and she is turning there, which means that the three of us, the live streamers, her and I, are now doing the Bible study together. I just saw her go. All right, let's so you can see the. There we go. That works. Now you can see the Bible. Well, stop pushing the screen. All right, so now you have a good view of my torso and a little bit of the Bible, and up to right here of my face. Perfect. Okay. Psalm 121 says, Valerie's enjoying this. Okay, Psalm 121 says, I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade on your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. That's it. 8 verses. Pretty short, pretty simple. So I don't know what Chaz is going to preach on. He's got our sermon's supposed to be 35 minutes long, so he's going to have to pull something from this. I mean, you can pull a lot, I'm sure, but he's going to have to figure it out. Let's see what we can figure out. My eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? Okay, first thing I notice is it says, I lift my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. So he's looking out at the geography around him. Whoever wrote this, it doesn't say. So I don't know. But whoever wrote this was, just got attacked, was looking out at the geography from the land, saying, where does my help come from? And then saying, my help comes from God, who made everything I'm looking at, basically. So that's pretty cool. I would imagine if they're looking to the hills, that means maybe they're in some sort of valley. They're kind of surrounded. So I wonder if because of that, whoever wrote this was feeling vulnerable at the time. Because this was a warring age, and being in a valley was not where you wanted to be. Because I would assume you would want the high ground. And if you're surrounded by hills, you can't see very far. So strategically, being at the bottom of the hills in a time of unpeace is scary, not ideal. But so this person's looking out, saying, I'm vulnerable, don't know what's going on, but my help comes from the Lord who made the very hills that make me feel vulnerable. So I'm good. Moving on here. Let's see if I can hit 35 minutes, if I could preach this sermon. Mel, how long do you think I've been talking? 3 minutes? 4 minutes? Mel says 4 minutes. All right. Moving on here to verse 3 and 4, I mean. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. So his protection is constant, is kind of the surface level message there. And he doesn't take breaks. That's pretty cool. He will not let your foot be moved. So that's imagery of standing still. Which would kind of support our theory here on wartime. Not let your foot be moved implies it's being moved by something other than you. So it's not saying he makes me stand still and I can't walk around, because that would be you moving your own foot. But he's saying your feet could be moved, which would imply it's being moved by something else. So some other force would push you from your place wherever you're at. Which makes me think that our theory on war and attack is pretty good here, possibly, because your feet being moved could really be referring to some form of retreat. The other option here is that this is all spiritual and not physical at all. So right now we're kind of reading it like it's physical battle, physical forces against a person, but it could be that this is talking about more spiritual evil, like sin and temptation, that kind of thing. So when it's talking about not let your foot be moved, that's referring more to other biblical imagery of not he keeps you from stumbling, essentially. So we've got two options there. Let's keep on reading and see see what we can deduce from there. Also the word keeps is interesting. I don't know. I'd be interested to know. You know what? I've got 4 hours. Let's look it up. What the Greek form of, or what the Greek translation of keeps is. So if you're curious, if you go to Blue Letter Bible and then look up, it's called the Strong's Info, which sounds weird. But the Strong's, I don't know what that stands for, but it actually just means like it'll tell you the definitions of words. Very helpful tool. So we're looking up this word keeps. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. So it looks like he who keeps you is actually a phrase. Oh, that's interesting. All right, we're dissecting this a little bit. So the phrase he who keeps you appears one time in the entire Bible, and it's right here. So the Strong's, pretty sure this would be the no, this looks Hebrew. I think this might be, yeah, so the Hebrew translation of the phrase he who keeps you is samar. Oh, sorry, pronounced shamar. 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 Very interesting. And the phrase says to keep guard, observe, give heed, to have charge of, to keep guard, to keep watch and ward, to protect, to watch for and observe, to be on one. Oh, so a similar word is nifal, which means to be on one's guard, to take care, or to beware. Shamar is a primitive root properly to hedge about, as with thorns, to guard generally, to protect, to attend to, observe, preserve, regard, reserve, save, watch. Keep watch, preserve. Okay. Back to the Bible. So it says, he will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. So the person in charge of guarding you and keeping watch over you, watching for danger, protecting you, does not take any time off. And keeps itself is not the definition. The whole phrase is he who keeps. So it's actually this is not saying that he keeps you, but it's saying that it's a character trait. So saying God is the God who keeps. He is, his very character is one who protects and watches and observes and protects and all those other fun words I said. Boom. That made me feel like a scholar. Let's keep going. Still no one watching? All good? Okay, the next verse, though, we get that word keeps again. So let's see what that phrase says. Behold, he who keeps Israel. So it is the same. It is that same verse, shamar, or that same word. Oh, except it says it's slightly different. Interesting. Oh, this might have been a mistake on. He who keeps. Yeah, it says it's the same word. 8-1. What? Okay. Our site here might have lied to us. Apparently it is used in. What? All right. I got it wrong. I must have misread something. Although it definitely said it was only used one time. What? Oh. I see what happened. Okay, so the word shamar is used 468 times in the Bible. And that word means keep or protect. But the phrase, he who keeps, is only used once. I see what happened. So the phrase is only used once, but the actual verb shamar is used 468 times. Okay, that was a good clarification. It's also used it's used a lot. Oh wow, a whole lot in Genesis. Genesis 2, the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and keep it. Very interesting. So the same word for what we were supposed to do with the garden is the same thing that God does for us. He drove out the man, and at the east of the Garden of Eden, he placed the cherubim and the flaming sword that turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life. Okay. It's also the same word for you shall keep my covenant. Kept my commandments, my statutes and laws. Shall get this. The keep. Oh, Genesis 30, Jacob says, you shall not give me anything. If you will do this for me, I will again pasture your flock and keep it. So it's kind of like it's a guarding and protecting, but also a little bit of nurturing, like something to be careful of. Very interesting. I'm a big fan of this word, shamar. I'm going to write it down. Mallory, checking back into my Bible study? Have you been listening?
Yep.
Have you been learning anything? Nice. So, first big thing, there's lots of goodness in here, but the first big thing I'm pulling, which I'm going to write down as I say it, is he will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. That word, keep, is the Hebrew word shamar, spelled with a fun line over the first A. And it is the same word used to keep the garden or keep a flock. So God is doing for us the same thing he called us to do for the earth when we were first created. That's pretty cool. All right. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. That feels pretty straightforward. Needed a sip of coffee to get into this. Kind of double emphasizes he who keeps you will not slumber. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. So he's really driving home that point about slumber and how God will not do that. So this keep is constant. Let's look up, just for kicks and giggles, that word for slumber. I don't think there's going to be anything too fun there. Yeah, to be drowsy. Used a lot in the Psalms. And it's pretty straightforward. It is used a lot to refer to people that are doing a bad job guarding, it looks like, which is pretty interesting. In Isaiah, it says, his watchmen are blind, they are without knowledge, they are all silent dogs, they cannot bark, dreaming, lying down, loving to slumber. And then in Nehemiah, I believe, it says, your shepherds are asleep, O king of Assyria, your nobles slumber, your people are scattered on the mountains with none to gather them. So it's used as something not great in terms of guarding and protecting. Also, that word is pronounced, it's N-U-M with a triangle above the U, but it's pronounced noom. That's fun. So the Lord, when he's keeping his flock and keeping his garden, which is us, his people, does not noom. So unlike all these other places where their protectors and their watchmen are loving to slumber, the Lord is attentive and constant. Sure makes it sound like he's always I don't know. Sometimes it feels like he gets busy and you're like, oh, God's not around anymore. Or like he's letting me handle this one on my own. But this makes it sound like his people will always have his constant attention. There will never be a time when he's not attentively focused and keeping and guarding us. That's pretty cool. Which means that whatever happens to us, I guess I'm making a leap here, but by logical thinking, whatever happens to us is something that God sees coming and watches and allows to happen. Which I guess some people might think that that's dark. I think that that's reassuring, that he could see things coming and allow them. It makes it feel like everything that happens to us, there gets to be some good in it, and it's not just, things aren't just happening willy-nilly. God is watching and guarding, and the things he lets through, there's going to be something in that, something good and beautiful. Then we get to verse 5. Snake attack. This verse is really repetitive, which means it has a few key points that it really wants to hone in on. But the beginning of verse 5 is, the Lord, in case you didn't get it yet, the Lord is your keeper. And it's the same word, shamar. That word, the Lord is Yahweh. The Lord is your shade on your right hand. So he's either standing so close or is so big that he shades us. The Psalms talk a lot about being at the right hand of the Lord, or the Lord being at your right hand. That must have been a pretty common saying back then, and it makes sense. Like, your right hand man is the one you trust the most. Also is going to be the one key protector for you. The one who's at your right is going to be really involved in your life. But I have not read before that there's shade. So just that term for shade adds a little bit to that makes it sound like there's so much proximity there, that like it's so close. The term is shadow or shade. Comes from, I don't know how to pronounce. It's pronounced sail. To say sail. Sometimes it says with the word on this site, and then it also says the pronunciation, but sometimes reading the pronunciation is just as difficult as reading the actual word. So I don't know who's in charge of those, but they're not doing a great job. But shadow or shade says outline of biblical usage. It's a term of protection. It says shade, whether literal or figurative, is referring to defense. Other times it's used I don't know. There's lots of uses. Oh, it's in the same story as Hezekiah, which, if you don't know that story, is crazy. It's like one of the cool God does something big stories that I feel like not a lot of people know about. But in that story, God literally turns back the sun. Because the Lord sent Isaiah to talk to Hezekiah. Isaiah is a prophet. So he sends Isaiah, and Isaiah says, "This shall be the sign to you from the Lord, that the Lord will do the thing he has promised. Shall the shadow go forward 10 steps or go back 10 steps?" Um, so basically, the Lord made a promise to Hezekiah and then sent Isaiah and was like, "Hey, go prove to him that I'm going to keep my promise with this cool sign." So he gives him a sign, and Hezekiah says, "It's an easy thing for the shadow to lengthen 10 steps. Rather, let the shadow go back 10 steps." So their shadow, in this case, is referring to it's the same word, but it's has a different meaning. It's referring to like a sundial. It's their timekeeping. It was all based on the sun. Um, so Hezekiah saying it's easy to make it go forward 10, make it go back 10 is basically saying like, hey, move the entire sun or change the rotation of the planet or just reverse time altogether. I don't know how God chose to do it, but somehow God changed. God basically broke all of physics um, to prove to Hezekiah his promise. And his promise was that Hezekiah was gonna receive 10 more years of life. I think it was 10 more years. If it is 10 years, then that could be an indicator of what the shadow sundial meant. Kind of symbolism, moving 10 steps, the shadow, giving Hezekiah 10 extra years of life. Kind of tracks. But also, what was I going to say there? Oh, he promised to restore Israel as well. Just kind of a pretty cool, big promise. Quick quick pause to see what Josiah is up to. looks like it looks like he's drawing on his iPad and he has it mirrored somehow, which again, it's cooler than me. So that's pretty cool. It looks like he also received a scam message. "Hi, I want to offer a promotion of your channel. Viewers, followers, views, chatbots. The price is lower than any competitor. The quality is guaranteed to be the best. Auto on, incredibly flexible and convenient order management panel. Everything is in your hands. Turn it off, on, customize. Go to dogehype.com." And Josiah responded, "I want to delete this message, but instead I will hide it further up." Nice. All right, that's what Josiah's up to. If anyone goes back and watches the full hour of this, it's a lot. Okay. "The Lord is your shade on your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night." So that gives us the significance of the shade, because in this poem, the sun is the danger essentially, and the moon, um, the sun shall not strike you. So it's essentially saying God will protect you from the sun and the moon. But that's all, I think, symbolic to the Lord won't let you get hit by anything. So the symbolism of you're standing in the shade of the sun, or the shade from the sun, by God being present is kind of analogous to you're standing behind the protection and shade of the Lord from evil, which is supported by verse 7. The Lord will keep you from all evil. There's that word keep again. He will keep your life. There it is again. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. So it's eternal. There's a huge emphasis on the word keep. So I'm going to underline it. Anytime there's a lot of repetition in the Bible, I like to underline. Just to show clearly this word is important and a focus to be kept. Guess we'll see if Chaz decides to talk on that, or if he knows other things. He probably does. I'm sure has studied for many hours, and I'm just winging all this. But there you go. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in. Those are, I guess they didn't have castles back then. But if you picture a city, leaving and entering the gates, going out and coming in are the most vulnerable times for you, because you're not safe within the confines of the walls. And it opens the door, which leaves the entire city vulnerable to attack. So the Lord will keep you forever from this time forth and forevermore at your most vulnerable times. And there you go. Psalm 121. 8 verses. Pretty simple. And the whole thing is about keeping, how the Lord is a keeper. The Lord is your keeper. Bible study done. What'd you think? Mal gives it a thumbs up. Do you want me to show you on the camera? Do you want me to? Mal says no to being on the camera. In case you're wondering. Oh, Josiah's drawing is looking good. Let's check in and see what he's saying. Oh, he just stopped talking altogether.
I think maybe the stream is going downhill, but that's okay.
He just said,
God. Excuse me.
He just said, I think maybe this stream is going downhill, but that's okay. He has two watchers, so someone other than me is watching. I have 0 watchers, which means not even Josiah is watching mine. So that's infuriating. So since it's Saturday, the next things I could do are I could do the dishes, as Mal has so wonderfully pointed at. I think I'll choose that option instead of risking getting in much trouble. Then after that, got lots of options. I could choose to I could read. That's one thing I do. I could do some video editing. Although it is a Saturday, technically a day off. I could do I could just watch a show. That's a fun Saturday activity sometimes. I was kind of thinking Mal is going to go work out. I can't do that because of this live stream, but that's okay. I was kind of thinking of possibly climbing later. Just something to. I'm not saying we have to, but like going to Kyla because it's like 20 minutes away, and doing a little bit of climbing this afternoon, using our new stuff. We got new stuff. When Mal goes and works out, I'll tell you guys all about it. What do you think of that? All right, people. took some time off, but now we're here with our next activity. I don't know how to show my screen like Josiah's doing, but I can point this down and show you my my chess game. So I'm gonna start a game here. I'll show you how it goes. All right, so I'm white. I usually play e4. Oh, he countered quickly with d6, which means I'm going to double up the center. Now he's attacking e4 and defend e4. Oh, he's setting up the little triangle. He's going to move this there. Bishop to g7. Not too concerned about that. I'm just going to keep establishing my game here. Going to get a couple defenses. All right. So one thing I like to do, he set this bishop in the middle of his main defense. It's actually playing a different kind of game. A little bit interesting. I'm gonna go straight for the offensive on the knight there. Let's set that up. Now he's under attack a bit. I can always go attack this bishop. I had a feeling he'd do that though, so he's gonna take my bishop there, which is not ideal because it doubles me up on the e-file and pawn structure. So right off the bat, he's just beaten me. That's all, just kind of all there is to it, you know. We can do our best, but at the end of the day, you just work with what you've got. Okay, so he's gonna. Oh, this guy's crushing me. All right, I'm gonna attack his queen. Hopefully, buy some time to make a new decision. This part of the game I call annoying, because that's the main idea, is just to annoy him into submission. Except I think I'm out of annoyance juice. That's a bummer. All right, we're just gonna take the L there and let him have that piece. I have a plan if he'll let me do it. Perfect. Oh, nope, I just lost. Okay. Resigning, starting over. He forked my queen. And that's the end of that story. All right. Set up a new game here. That guy just destroyed me so fast, which is unfortunate, but happens sometimes. All right. Go ahead and do that. He's going to attack my bishop. I'm pretty sure on c5. Yep, there he goes. Move that down. He's going to keep the attack going. That's okay. I got a counter proposal for him. Move that back. So it's kind of an annoying way to play, in my opinion, the way this guy's playing. Oh, which I just messed it up. That's okay. Oh, never mind. We're good. We're Gucci here. So now I'm going to go for an attack on his bishop just to kind of make sure he can't follow up on my attack here. Mm, He really doesn't want me to have that bishop there, so I'm gonna let him. I'll let him have it. Gives me a chance to um, boost my pawn game a little bit, which is nice. He's trying pretty hard to force moves, which is fine. It's not ideal, but we're getting through. I'm setting up a forced pawn take, though. Oh, that was not a great move on his part. Allowed me to progress a whole lot. Yeah, that was good. That was, I think, generally a winning situation for me. I am in a pickle. Because he's trying. If he is able to push this one pawn forward, he's going to destroy my king's defense, and things are going to get dicey pretty quick from that point. But he kind of just. I think maybe that's a blunder. Yeah. That was good for me. He blundered that situation. I'm going to put him in check here. That'll get me out of trouble for a second, and I can use that to defend this exposed pawn here. I'm one up on him, which is good. Also, I don't even know if you can see. Cool. We're going to see if we can force. Perfect. This is going well. Not amazing by any means, but decent. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. That's not good. I think he just gotta. I think he's gonna take my queen. Yep. Okay, I have one move I can make. Oh, now he's talking trash. It's always interesting to me. um, um, when people talk smack in chess, like, it's chess. Come on, team. We can do better than this. Okay. Got out of that situation, which is very good. Hmm. All right, so he forced a stalemate, and that was, which is kind of lame, but that's fine. I'm trying to remember the name of this opening. It's like oh, that's not what normally happens. Okay, we're just gonna. Oh, this is gonna get worse before it gets better. Uh-oh, I got him in trouble. I think he was hoping to pull a cool trap on me, but instead, he's got pretty significant issues now. It allowed me to kind of shred the one side of his defense a little bit. He's going to have to retreat that. Oh, come on. Whew. Put me in a tricky situation, but I got out of it because of general awesomeness. Oh, except now. That's my only option, unfortunately. Oh, which means he's gonna. Yep, that was not great. Hmm. That's the worst. I might not win this one. All right, new game. You got me good. This is a classic trap I like to play. Ooh, and he did the worst possible thing. Now I can really progress my pieces and force him all the way back. Now his only option is to retreat this knight way back to the beginning. Now he's done it. Love that. I think we'll let him do it. I'll just kind of annoy him a little bit. All right, I was able to castle and get to safety. Now his queen is being threatened. He's going to have to make some decisions, and I'm going to put him in check. The very next move, depending on what he does. Okay, that's pretty weird, but fine. We're just going to keep the attack going strong. See how he can defend that. Figured he'd do that. Let's get our check in place here. All right, so now his king is stuck in the middle, and he is not looking great. Although my defenses are also not looking great. Oh, I think I just lost. That was a blunder that I did not see until just now. Shoot. If he spots it. Oh, he has not seen it. Shoot. Man, I'm not playing great. That's my only option. Oh, shoot. Oh, wait, no, that's okay. Ooh, that was lucky. All right, my new goal is just run out the clock. He has 10 seconds left to find a way to end. I've got a pretty well defended mid here. All right, he's got me. Gotcha. Just pinned your king and your queen together. Now you're in trouble, buckaroo. He's going to go to D. Yep, trying his best. I can block it just like that. He's going to go to C1. Give that a whirl. Also won't work. Oh, nice. All right, well, I'm going to attack his... Okay, he's... Interesting. I'm going to put him in check there so I can steal this for free. Put him back in check. He's going to do the thing where he just tries to... He's going to put me in check. Oh, he's not. Okay, great. Oh, he's trying to run the clock out. That's annoying. All right, so I got to speed up. Okay. He is in a good amount of trouble now. So I'm going to take that. Take that, and I'll get that right back. Now I just got to move fast. Just kind of make time up. He won't win this race, so it's pretty much over. The best thing he can do now is try to get a stalemate. That should be pretty tricky. Yes, he's trying to get himself trapped to where there's nowhere he can go. It's kind of an annoying little hack that people use sometimes, but I think we're going to be all right here. We're going to just keep putting him in check. So we've got him where we like him. We're in no big rush. Got him. Nope. He can take that. Ugh. I thought that was it. We're on our way, though. There we go. Checkmate. All right. Took me a long time to get that win for you. This opening is called the Vienna opening. One of my favorites. Because it catches a lot of people off guard. They don't know how to go about shutting it down. So that's that. And that killed like half an hour. All right, everyone, and by everyone I mean Josiah. I am going to go to the bathroom and then put contacts in and brush my teeth. See you in a few. Okay, I'm back. Here to do some dishes. Everyone say hey to Mal. You made the live stream.
Unfortunately. You can leave this out. Let's just Caleb and Courtney.
Got it. All right. Next is protein. This is the kind I use. I'm getting paid so much money to promote it. I find usually a scoop and a half does the trick. Just like that. Sorry, my hair's not looking fantastic today. It's a bit straight, a bit stringy. Also, be right back. All right. Now is the part. Now is the part of the journey where I do some show and tell. Let's see what. Oh, wait. First, Josiah and Abby are doing an interview, so I'm going to mute it and go watch theirs for a second. All right. Time for show and tell. Got some new climbing gear. And I'm the only one here, so I'm the only one who has to care what I talk about. So here we go. First up, got these guys. These are Black Diamond Hot Forge Screw Gate carabiners. These are awesome. The cool thing about these is you can see it, they're super narrow here at the end, which means when you get to the top and you need to set up an anchor, usually there's a bolt like this size. If you get a big old carabiner and there's other stuff already in this bolt, it can be hard to get it through there. But this guy, so thin, so narrow, boom, right in. Screw down so you don't screw up. And then this is in the bolt. I got 3 of these. I only really need 2, 1 for each bolt. Part of climbing that's always talked about, especially when you're building an anchor, which is what is at the very top that lets you go down and up and where the rope hangs out. So you always have redundancy. So you always have a second backup system. So your system always has, there's a bunch of words. I can't remember all of them. Always has to be redundant. That's all I can remember. All that matters. So basically, you get 2 of these. There's 2 bolts. Boom. Now your rope can go through 2 separate spots instead of 1. Pretty cool. So I got these. So that's what goes through. That's what goes through the actual bolt. Then I got these guys. These are the Petzl Attaché. I pro dealed these through REI. These are awesome because they're really narrow up here, really wide down here. Locking, of course, and heavy duty. So this guy goes through the bolt, boom. And then this is what's going to be your master point. So it goes down here, and your rope goes through this point. You have 2 of them. It's redundant. And you do it. You set them up so that the locks they basically have to be opposed. The gates are opposed so that if something were to somehow happen, the rope would not come out of both of these. There would always be a backup. Redundancy. So when you climb, you always set it up so that if something fails, a different thing will allow you to not die, which is nice. Mal, are you leaving? Okay. Everyone say goodbye to Mal. They said bye. Have a good workout. See you in a bit. Okay. So we're working on building an anchor. What happens at the very top of the climb that allows you to set up a top rope, which means you can belay someone and it goes up to the top. You go up and down and you belay like that. This is 7mm cord. I believe I got 18 feet of it. And it's awesome. So basically this guy here is what's going to actually connect to your whole anchor system. So you've got these carabiners and the bolts. Also, this will be tied differently. We'll walk through that in a bit. Got those in the bolts like that. And then down here, somehow, again, this cord is not actually tied. You have your master point, 1 and a second one opposed. The small end goes on the cord because this cord won't actually move, but the rope, well, that will go through these carabiners might move a lot. So you want the extra wiggle room down here. Plus, screw down so you don't screw up. it's very hard for the rope to wiggle enough to screw this gate upwards. But if you had it like this and the rope is rubbing on this, gravity could help it screw downwards. So essentially, you want this like this. And the other one will go in here opposed, like, nope, I messed it up. Always takes me a little bit to figure out the opposed situation. It's also hard to do while holding this up. There we go. Opposed. Now you've got your cord tied in two places to the wall itself through the bolts. And you've got your two opposed carabiners locked down here that the actual rope runs through. And then this can slide on these guys here, and these are enforced and can take a pretty solid beating because they're beefy boys. Each one is almost $20. I was able to get a pro deal on them, and I paid, I don't know, about half that, which is pretty awesome. Then these guys here, the hot wire screw gates, they were like $9 each. Well, no, that's not true. I got a pack of 3. I have a backup, which is nice. It was $35 total. I think with my REI deals, I paid $12 at the end of the day, so solid. Now, this, oh, no, I have one more thing to show you. This thing here, this is called, this is a Gree. This is an awesome, it's a belay device, and it's awesome. So the rope runs through here, then you use this lever to bring people up and down, and it has assisted braking. So some belay devices are just open tubes that the rope runs through, and then your actual hands have to be here doing the work. But with this guy, has this lever, automatically locks off and brakes, helps a ton. So the rope, this is the anchor rope cord. This is not the actual rope I use, but essentially it loops in here like that. This guy closes, and you get, again, would not use this carabiner, but put this in here, you lock it down, everything's locked, rope can't go anywhere. This would be going up, and this is your brake strand here, and you'd be holding it like this, so you've got fingers on the brake strand, and then you're just pulling that lever, lowering people, or feeding through. It's awesome. It's way better. I mean, they're both good. The other version of a belay device is called an ATC guide, which is that tube. That's what I've been using. It's a bit more versatile because it is so manual, but this is much safer, which for my purposes, I prefer safer, you know. Always go for safer if you can. Oh, gross. There's also some weird gunk got on it. Oh, well. It's a little loose. I'm told that's normal. We'll find out if I die. So, you've got your cord. One thing I need to do here today, because Mal and I were thinking about going climbing later, I've always had this, and I learned how to tie it once or twice, but I need a refresher. What you do is you tie what's called a quad knot. I'll show you what it looks like whenever it's done, but essentially you tie it so that you have bites. This is not how you do it, but essentially you'd have a bite here for one bolt to go in, and on the other end you'd have another bite for the other bolt to go in. This would clip to these carabiners, connect to the bolt, and then the part in the middle that hangs down between the two, so in this case these trains here, would be where you hooked these guys. The rope would go through that, and it's redundant and self-equalizing. That's another term it needs to be. So as you're moving around with the rope, it needs to be able to equalize itself so that you're not putting more force on one side versus the other. You want everything to be equalized if you can. It's not always possible, but as much as you can help it. So the thing I need to learn how to do, though, I need to watch a video here on how to tie these ends together. I know what it's called. It's called a double fisherman's knot. So essentially, it's something like, again, I'm going to have to look this up. Something like this. And then do that. And then you do the same on the other side, and that would be a double cinching fisherman knot. Did not do it right, which is why I have to look it up. And then once I've got that, then I know how to do the rest of it. So that's that. Now we turn to Google and YouTube for assistance. Get all this cord up here. So I've got, it's slippery. Goodness me. No one's even watching this, but I feel like I'm teaching a lot about climbing, which is fun. Okay. Here we go. How to build a quad anchor. Building a quad anchor. I love YouTube. There's just a video for everything. All right. Climbing is an inherently dangerous sport.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Explore and Traverse. I'm Mike, and I'm here to teach you how to do a quad anchor using just $10 worth of cord.
Yep.
Here I have 7mm cord.
That's what I got.
And about 20 feet of it. You can do anywhere between 18 and 20 feet of cord to make your quad anchor. So let's start off. I take one end of the cord, and I pass my finger through, making sure that all knots and bends and kinks are pushed out. Take both the ends of the cord, overlap them for about 20 inches. Grab, take one end,
No,
passing it.
It won't pause. All right, people. Does this look like 20 inches to you? I feel like that's good.
For about 20 inches. Grab the middle, take one end, passing it under one revolution, make an X, pass it over one more time.
Oh my goodness. What? He goes so
Grab
fast.
the middle, take one end, passing it under one revolution, make
All right, hold on.
one
We can
end.
do this.
passing it under
He didn't
one
even
revolution.
pass it under.
make an X,
What on
one
earth?
end, passing it under
That's over.
one revolution, make an X,
Make an
pass
X.
it over one more time,
Another.
and then cross it through.
Okay, so it sounds like, so you're going to go under, make an X over, pass it through. Oh yeah, that looks good.
At that X. With the other end, do the same steps, except reverse that direction that you originally went. I'm going to go over, I'm going to cross it, and I'm going to pass
Oh my
the
goodness.
end. I'm going to go do the same steps, except reverse that direction that you originally went.
Okay. So this looks good. Do you see that? I like it. We're gonna undo it though, because there wasn't enough. I didn't like how little extra there was at the end. So we're gonna take a little bit. Take a little bit more here. Go to the middle. Okay, so I'm going to pass it over one revolution, under, I messed it up. Okay. Here we go. We got it. It's in the middle here. Just like that. Okay. We're going to go under first. 1 revolution. Here we go. Make an X. And then pass it through. Yeah. Yes. Look at that. Let's watch the video again to make sure I did it right.
Grab the middle, take 1 in, passing it under 1 revolution, make an X, pass it over 1 more time, and then cross it through at that X. With the other end, do the same steps, except reverse that direction that you originally were.
Okay, so I need to. Okay, so I have to remember which way I went. Okay. Here we go. This is the middle. Okay, I'm going to go under towards me. One revolution. I'm going to make an X, do a second revelation, then I'm going to go through. No, see, that's wrong. I did it wrong. This part has always been hard for me. All right, here we go. I'm going to go. Okay, guys. Here we go. I'm going to go under 1, make an X, 2, pass it through. Yep, love it. I love it. That looks amazing. We're all happy with it. No one's allowed to say anything. Now, the other one, we're going to go over, make an X over, and pass it through. Oh, yeah, buddy. I don't know if that's right. It looks good. Yeah, kind of. Well, it doesn't look... It's supposed to be pretty uniform.
I'm going to go over, I'm going to cross it, and I'm going to pass it right through that X. Making sure that both knots are dressed well, have ample tail, in this case, 3 inches, and when pulled tight, make 2 equal signs on one side and 2 X's on the other. Double up the cord. Very easy. Just take it, curve it.
Yeah, so it's not right. That's kind of annoying. I need to watch a different video of a guy. I need to watch a better video. Different guy. The thing is, some of these, his is really fast. Some of them are like 20 minutes long, though.
The quad anchor is
Like, I don't need to explain
when you're
why it's
moving,
good.
presses around.
I just need
It's
someone
useful
to...
function and Steve. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Like, we're 2 minutes into this video and he has yet to show you how to do it.
Well, Dyneema cord is 4.5. Different material. Double up the cord. Double up the cord.
He didn't even show the part I needed. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. We're going to go back to this original video and just make it work.
This summer, create your own adventures with Honda, the most rewarding brand.
Here I have a cord. It's them for about
Because the thing is, oh no, now they're too tight to move, which is good. So essentially, I think this would be fine. The problem is it should be completely parallel on one side, and it's close. Like those look mostly there, and then should be X's on the other side. So actually, it's not horrible, and this would probably hold. It's just not tied as good as it, I think, could be. So what we're gonna do is untie it and try again. It's always good, especially with climbing, to really know what you're doing. Like to really have your system down. So I could do this on the fly, or whatever I needed to do. So it's good, even though that would have held and that would have been just fine. It's good to do it more times. Now we run the rope through and make sure there's no knots or weird bends or anything. Well, we're good to go. So we're going to get about 20 inches, which looks like that, in my opinion. We're going to grab right here, right in the middle. Okay, here's the part that's hard. Maybe if I do it flatter, that'll make it different. So first thing I'm going to do is pass it up one revolution. I'm going to make an X, pass it, and then I'm going to, oh, oops. Okay, here we go. Going over, that's one. I'm going to make an X here, go over again, and I'm going to run the whole thing through. Yeah, like that. That looks really nice. That looks much better than my first attempt there. It's dressed well. It's got exactly what we're looking for. Good enough tail. Has this beautiful equal sign on one side, X on the other side. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go the other direction. So that's a loop. We're going to do our loop. We're going to do our X right here. Do another loop. We're going to pass the whole thing through. Yes, yes, yes. This already, there's too much tail on one end. That's fine. Not as worried about that. You can see it adjusts. Perfect. So it's a little ugly, just because one tail end is much longer. I'm not too worried about that. Honestly, you could probably adjust it too. I bet you I could like push this back through and just kind of make some tweaks here. Just kind of like tighten it up that way. And just kind of tie it way over here instead, potentially. Might kind of fix it a bit. Yeah, so that fixed that. So super easy fix. Smack them together. Yes, dude. Look at that. Beautiful. I mean, for my like third time ever tying this one. That's good. So you've got this double X right here, which looks really uniform. Ernest Humberdinck. All right, I'm getting messages. Oh, Josiah.
Why do I feel like you're a made-up person?
Oh, Josiah. Hey, we're not as delayed.
I feel like you're a made-up person.
Hey, we're not as delayed.
Yeah. It's only a couple seconds now delayed.
That's not bad. Have you been watching my
Do you know
not
who
content?
Ernest is? Yeah, it's only a couple seconds now.
That's not bad. Have you been watching my not content?
A little bit. We had a little interview going on, and then I just decided to check out your not content, and now you got a second viewer. It looks like.
I don't know who this Ernest fella is.
Now you got a second viewer.
But oh yeah, if you're watching my stream, hey Ernest, whoever you are, I'm also chatting on Josiah's stream. You should check his out on Twitch. Check out this double fisherman's knot though.
Yeah, come on over to mine, Ernest.
Check out this double fisherman's knot though.
That's very sick. Yeah, come on over to mine, Ernest.
Yeah, you know.
The lag is horrible. Okay, I'm just gonna sit here and watch.
Sounds good. I'm working on I'm finishing up my quad anchor. Sounds good. I'm working on I'm finishing up my quad anchor. So, all right, I got the thumbs up from Josiah. I'm muting him because the lag does make things really confusing. So here's the quad anchor. Gonna hold everything together. Then things are gonna get more interesting.
Inches.
But we're just gonna keep watching.
Grab the middle. Take
This part is so easy.
Add
I already
that.
finished this
that
part.
direction. And I'm going to
Double fisherman tied together looks great.
sides on one side, cord. Very easy on the other.
All right. Now we're caught up. We're looking at the
Double
next
up the
part.
cord. Very easy. Just take it, curve it, and then pull it tight.
Okay. Next step, I got to double up the cord. He said it's very easy. So I just got to take it, flip it, double up. Oh, yeah. This was so easy. Look how it's doubled up. It's beautiful. And we're gonna keep watching. I'm gonna step on this one end so it stays taut. Okay. Now,
So that you have two overlapping strands.
got two overlapping strands, just
Take
like you
one
said.
end, step on it.
Take one end, step
Making
on
sure
it.
it's tight.
Check.
Pull that double fisherman's knot that you made up towards one end, but not in the way.
Pull the double fisherman's knot up towards one end, but not in the way. That feels like it's in the way, so we're gonna have it like right here. Cool. Now we're going to
This end here. You're going to grab below that and do what's called an overhand. Make a loop and pass it through.
grab below that.
We have one arm of our quad anchor.
Okay. Okay. He's standing up, which makes this interesting. I'm gonna attempt a stand up here. I'll scoot you back. Something. Okay, that's fine. So we said we're gonna grab below this. We're gonna twist here. Now you can spectate. Gonna grab below this. We're gonna twist it. we're gonna twist it down and do what's called an overhand. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch how he did that. It's getting weird.
And pass through that and do what's called an overhand. Make a loop and pass it through.
We're gonna do
And do what's called an and
Okay.
here. You're going to grab below that
below that.
and do what's called an overhand.
Do what's
Make a
called
loop
an overhand.
and pass it through.
Make a loop.
We have one arm
Check
of our
it.
quad anchor.
One
Be
arm.
sure to dress that knot. Take the other end.
Oh,
Repeat
my.
that front.
I think that looks good. I think my knot got in the way though. So I'm gonna adjust this. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, back to the. Gotta pull it taut. And we're gonna see. Oh yeah, see that? See that business? Oh, it keeps getting hung up on the knot though. I think I need to put the knot. I need to put the knot in a different place. So, how riveting is this, you guys? Are we having so much fun? This part is supposed to be. Oh, Ernest says hello from Albania. Ernest Hummingbird Music. Ernest, we'll check you out. And make sure you check out Josiah's Twitch stream too. Except it looks like currently he's just watching my stream on his stream. So maybe just keep watching mine from now. Ernest, we've talked about you before, I think, on our podcast, haven't you? Didn't you leave a review or something? Or did I make that up? We're going to get this higher up here so that hopefully look at this quad anchor. That's what we were going for. This knot is nice and beautiful. I'm going to dress it up a little bit just to really make it pop. Looks good. Side one. So then the other side, I'm pretty sure, you just do the same thing. So we're just going to grab it, run it through. And, ladies and gentlemen, I present the quad anchor. Now, notice it's not good. Notice it's a bad one. But that's okay. I think it's fun that we've got a listener. So what it looks like is that I put this one probably too high. So what I'm going to do actually is just see if I can just run it, just kind of adjust it a little bit. Yeah. That's the nice thing about this quad anchor is once you get the bones built, the rest of it is fairly customizable. So now, already, I only want to watch your live stream because I love learning how to climb. Well, sure. Stick around. I'll teach you everything I know. It won't take very long because I don't know a whole lot. Climbing is life. Ernest, you are not lying. Climbing is life. You are absolutely correct. And if you climb right, you get a stay alive, which is a huge perk of doing it well. So here's what we're looking at. This is why this system is cool. I'll show you. So remember we talked about this. This is going to go into bolt number 1. This guy here, is going into bolt number 2. So you've got 2 bolts tied in, and you have this part in the middle and 2 separating strands. So what you're going to do on one strand, you're hooking in that way. On the other strand, you're hooking in that way so that remember, you want your carabiners to be opposing, and they're on the separate strands here. So here's why this system is cool. So you've got this guy, right? He's in your bolt, having a great time being there. If, let's say something weird happened, the bolt came out for no reason, or this carabiner broke, or something went wrong, now you're on one, and this bolt is still good, and you're still set in here. Same thing, you lost the other bolt, boom, still safe, still looking good. And if for whatever reason you lost one of these, you're still good in here. So everything in this whole system has its own backup plan and its own backup system. Ladies and gentlemen, the quad anchor. Now, I would probably actually adjust this. I would move these higher, just so that there's more room for the rope to move down here. So the cool thing, this is a self-equalizing system. So if you were to climb over to the right and pull to the right, this whole thing would be able to shift. And there's lots of room for the rope to move around inside of this. So then your rope runs through here, all the way down. One's tied to the climber, the other's hooked into this beautiful gree-gree, and you're climbing. What do we think? What do we think, everyone? Also, we're getting close to the end here. We're almost done with this live stream punishment. Josiah, what are you doing? Oh, you still watching? Nice. Cool. Scrolling, watching. Checking things out. Nice. Oh, the view from your screen's pretty fun. No one's liked it. That's a bummer. Me and Ernest. Anyway, if either of my two listeners have any questions about this climbing process, just let me know. Let me know, and we'll run from there. Oh, what a silly day it's been. Oh, it looks like someone's downloaded many episodes. Okay, Ernest, my favorite style of climbing. I don't know. So I started back when I lived in Texas. I started at a bouldering gym. So I was really into like indoor bouldering. And they were tall walls. They were like 16 feet tall. So it was pretty intense bouldering. But very, very fun, very interesting. That's how I got into climbing. Then I moved up here and someone started teaching me how to climb outside. And since then, just like good old classic sport climbing has been my thing. I kind of enjoy slab climbing, honestly. I enjoy the intricacies of like trying to balance just right and getting just the perfect handhold, I think that's fun. And right now that's probably my favorite. I'm not great at climbing outdoors. I've climbed like 510 and did some projecting on 511, but on a 511, but in general, I'm still much a noob, if we're being honest. but that's okay. Ernest, what is your favorite style of climbing? Also, while he's thinking and typing, I've had music playing this entire live stream, so I hope we don't get like our account shut down from copyright or anything. Ernest says definitely regular. Yeah. Oh, JK, bouldering. Sick. Yeah, bouldering. I've got a special place in my heart for bouldering because it is fun and it's more exciting. You don't have any help. You don't have any of this stuff to make you be good, you know? If I fall, there's no consequences if I fall on this thing. I just like slowly decline. But bouldering, you could take some pretty intense looking falls bouldering. Anyway, I've got about half an hour left of this stream. 100% agree. Where do you go bouldering? A lot. There's a gym up here in Montana where I live currently, Montana, US. I go there a lot. There are some outdoor places that I can boulder around here. I actually haven't spent much time bouldering outside. I just hasn't happened. Whenever we go outside, it's like I might as well just rope up and do bigger stuff because it's fun. And I really enjoy learning all these systems and stuff. That's pretty fun. And it's cool. It takes a lot of learning and you have to learn a lot and you have to always know your stuff. And it's cool to grow your skills in that kind of thing. So that I'm into. Also, I love carabiners. As someone who's a pretty significant fiddler, not the instrument, just with things, carabiners they really hit right in the sweet spot. Especially lockers, because you can do that, and you can also play like that. Possibilities are endless, essentially. Anyway, that's what I got. That's my climbing chat. I have little else to say because I'd show you other climbing gear that I own, but it's all in our car, and I can't take my computer to the car. If you're ever in Albania, you should check out our climbing festival. There's an Albanian climbing festival. That's sweet. I'm looking it up right now. Climbing festival. Yeah. I just went to a climbing festival here in the US in Wyoming. It was so fun. I'm a videographer full time, so I went out and did some filming for them and some promotional work. Sounds like maybe I should go to Albania next year and do some video work there. That'd be honestly pretty cool. When is it? Do you know? I'm trying to find like dates and stuff. Albanian Festival. Thanks to our sponsors, Patagonia Classic. Very cool. Climbing soon. Oh, they're updating their website. So that's why there's not as much information right now. But I'm going to the Instagram to check them out right now. Cool. Heck yes. It's October 27th through 29th. Come and check it out. Ooh. All right. I followed the account. I'll see if I can get hooked up and come out to film. That would be pretty stinking cool. This is very fun. Cool. Thanks for the info, Ernest. Much appreciated.
And pull it tight.
I gotta watch the rest of this
And we have
quad
ourselves
to make sure I did it as good as he thinks I
a
should.
quad anchor. If you like this video, make sure you
Oh
hit
yeah, that's exactly what mine looks like. We're good. I nailed it. I wish I had a way to like invite people on. I would invite Josiah on to chat with me so far in like a less laggy way. Oops, wife's going into labor. Gotta go. All right, Ernest, get out of here. Feels like this live stream is not the priority right now. Why don't you go handle that situation? And thanks for tuning in, Ernest. It's much appreciated. I'll type you a little send off message.
Sitting in an Albanian hospital. Watching. It's just so bored, just like. Oh yeah.
That's
crazy.
That's weird. I'm a big fan.
Oh man.
Okay. I did.
Well, 20 minutes left.
Yep.
Do you have any more questions for me? Yep. No, the interview's done. Abby's finished with the interview. She has no more questions for me.
All right. I'm going to spend my last 20 minutes doing some boring book reading, I think.
What do we do? How do we close this off? I've drawn. I've watched Caleb stream.
Haven't had any water today. All right, it's going to be a boring finale, but I just had a lot of social time. I'm going to finish this book called Church History in Plain Language, and by finish I mean I've been reading for weeks and I'm just hitting halfway through. I'll let you know if I come across anything interesting. What you've missed so far is we just made it to the Reformation. Very exciting. The Anabaptists showed up. Learned that the Mennonites and the Hutterites both came from Anabaptists, so they share the same ancestry as Baptists do. Very interesting. On a Saturday afternoon in June 1533, a dark-eyed English lady, surrounded by the nation's nobility, rode through London's crowded streets and triumphal arches. Anne Boleyn, mounted on a chair draped in silver and gold, was on her way to Westminster Abbey, where the next morning she would be solemnly anointed and crowned Queen of England. Prompting that entourage was a series. Hey Riley, thanks thanks for tuning in, man. This is gonna be a pretty boring last 20 minutes. I was just talking about climbing gear, actually. You missed out a bit. Now I'm just reading this book on church history, which to everyone except for me probably is pretty wildly boring. Josiah's been pretty interesting over on his he's streaming on Twitch right now. You might check out his. Also, speaking of climbing, are you climbing with us on Tuesday? Heck yeah. I'll give you a little recap of what I talked about. 1 second. So I basically spent the last half an hour teaching the viewers how to build this quad anchor. We had a viewer, which is super weird. For the first 3 hours of this punishment, it was just me / Josiah checked in for a little bit. But then Ernest showed up from Albania. I don't know how that happened, but there he is, and chatted with him for a little bit, which was pretty weird. I also just pro-dealed this Gree, so I was bragging about that a little bit and some of these other carabiners I got. But that's it. That's all you missed. Let's go, Ernest. Yeah, his wife's going into labor apparently, so he's got to get out of here. Looks like
Idaho and Texas. Okay, maybe we're both close. It's very close. Stay tuned. Actually, don't stay tuned because you won't get any more updates. We are going to play a little game of
Josiah and Abby are playing a game, looks like, over on the Twitch channel. So theirs might be more interesting. I feel like mine's fizzling out now. All right. Back to my book. Oh. Hey, dude.
What's up, dude?
How's it going?
It's great. I feel weird just watching you as the sole viewer, so I wanted to call and say hello.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Ernest dipped out of here. I have no idea who he is or where he came from.
Apparently Albania.
Yeah, somehow. He must be like a random subscriber we got from posting like YouTube shorts or something.
Heck yeah, dude.
So you're coming on Tuesday.
Apparently. I hope so, anyways.
So are you still just as flexible even though you're working with Montana Knife now?
Yeah, but I leave on Sunday or Monday next week for a 2-week hunting trip in Canada.
Seriously?
So, I have a lot to do before then, so I'm trying to smash everything in the next week.
Oh, sure. So you're just going up to film their hunting trip?
Yeah, going up with a guy from Sitka, and then from an adult sheep hunt up in the Yukon. So
That is so sick.
gonna be crazy.
You're
So
living big over there.
trying to. Well, I'm about to go on a float trip in about 30 minutes, so I'm gonna hang up and get ready for that. But enjoy the last 20 minutes of your live stream.
Cool, man. Thanks for checking in. I'll see you on Tuesday.
Sounds good, dude. See ya.
Later. All right. Now it's just me again. Going back to the book. Prompting that entourage was a series of fast-paced events that carried England into the Reformation of Christianity in its distinctive way and created a historic background for a host of Anglo-American denominations, including Episcopalians, Congregationalists, and Baptists. Prompting that was a series of fast-paced events that carried England. Okay. If the Lutheran Reformation began in a monastic cell, the Anabaptist Reformation in a prayer meeting, and the Calvinist Reformation at the scholar's desk, then the English Reformation began in the affairs of state, specifically with the problem of succession to the royal throne. In a sense, England had two reformations, a constitutional one under King Henry VIII and a theological one under the Puritans almost a century later. Under Henry, nothing changed doctrinally. England simply rejected the authority of Rome. In this move, however, England was forecast the future of Christianity in modern nations. She made Christian beliefs almost altogether a private affair and considered the practice of religion an instrument of the state. Later generations called it civil religion. How could such a thing happen? Why did England, even without any great theological issue, overthrow the long-standing authority of the Church of Rome? The idea arose of the marital problems of King Henry, whom Charles Dickens once described as a most intolerable ruffian and a blot of blood and grease on the history of England. Yikes. Other influences, to be sure, contributed to the break with Rome, but succession to the throne was the primary constitutional factor in the transformation of the church in England into the Church of England. For centuries, the church in England had been moving towards independence from Rome. By Luther's time, most patriotic English had a sense of the distinctive character of the faith in their homeland. Cardinal Thomas Wolsey is probably the best symbol of the independence England had achieved even prior to Henry's break with Rome. Wolsey was the Archbishop of York, a cardinal in the Church of Rome, and the Chancellor of the English realm. So, in his own person, he combined the Church in England, the Church of Rome, and the Kingdom of England. Yet, in all of these offices, he was the king's henchman, subject to honor or disgrace at the royal whim. Understandably, the schism in the church came over a royal problem, not over theological conflicts. Putting it simply, Henry VIII, King of England, revolted against the Pope because he passionately desired the dark-eyed Anne Boleyn, a lady-in-waiting of the court. But that's only the headline. The backstory involves the royal succession to the English throne and the need for an heir to the throne, not the personal lust of the king. Henry knew how to satisfy his lusts. He shared the customary royal pastime with mistresses and had at least one illegitimate son. His problem was he had no son born of his queen, Catherine of Aragon. Catherine, daughter of Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain, had delivered 5 children, but the only survivor beyond infancy was the Princess Mary. Unfortunately, England was in no mood to accept a girl as heir to the throne because the nation's only previous queen had occasioned bloody wars of succession. Thus, as Catherine grew older, Henry grew more troubled. In 1525, the queen was 40, and Henry pondered more and more the ways of the Almighty. Am I under some curse of God? The question arose because prior to their marriage, Catherine had been Henry's deceased brother Arthur's wife for at least several months, and Henry believed that the curse of God fell on any marriage to a brother's wife. Makes sense. According to the book of Leviticus, if a man marries his brother's wife, it is an act of impurity. They will be childless. Adds up. Naturally, the Church of Rome had also recognized the curse, and at the time of Henry's wedding, Pope Julius II had found grounds for granting special permission for the wedding. Of course he had. But with the passing of the barren years, Henry wondered if Julius had not overstepped his sacred rights. Was Catherine's inability to bear a son evidence of God's curse upon the union? If so, why couldn't the Pope divide asunder what he had joined? In 1527, Henry asked the Holy Father, Clement VII, to revoke the special dispensation and declare the marriage of 18 years invalid from the outset. The Pope might have been open to the idea had not Catherine been the aunt of Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor and King of Spain. At that moment, the Pope could ill afford to offend the Emperor, so he stalled. Henry's personal reasons for desiring the annulment were matched by the Pope's political reasons for refusing the request. Henry decided to take matters into his own hands. He eagerly adopted the suggestion of one of his advisors, Thomas Cranmer, that he present his case to the European universities for their scholarly opinion. The response, as one might expect, was mixed, but Henry had his cover for imposing his will on the nation. In January 1533, the king secretly married Anne. In May, an English church court declared Henry's marriage to Catherine null and void, and in September, the new queen gave birth to a child. Contrary to the forecasts of astrologers, it was a girl, Elizabeth. When the Pope countered Henry's move by excommunicating him, Henry realized that papal authority in England had to be overthrown. The king knew the anti-papal sympathies in England were running high. At Cambridge, for example, certain instructors were so taken with Luther that the favorite gathering place, the Inn of the White Horse, was called Little Germany. So the king calculated that he would face little popular opposition so long as he renounced papal authority in England and avoided troublesome doctrinal questions. Henry moved briskly on a series of fronts. He discovered an old 14th century law prohibiting dealings with foreign powers and used it to insist that the English clergy stop their dealings with the Pope. The clergy offered surprisingly little resistance. A year later, in 1534, the Act of Supremacy declared, "The King's Majesty justly and rightly is and ought to be and shall be reputed the only supreme head in earth of the Church of England, called Anglicana Ecclesia." It was done. The break with Rome was complete. England now had a national church with the king as its head. The head, however, was not a priest. He could appoint bishops, but he could not consecrate them. He could defend the faith, but he could not formulate it. The king looked to the Archbishop of Canterbury, the highest office in the Church of England, to serve the purposes of the priesthood, and secured the services of Thomas Cranmer in that post. The sole religious issue then in England's initial Reformation was papal supremacy. Henry intended no break with the old faith. He considered himself, in fact, a guardian of Catholic dogma. In 1521, in answer to Luther's attack on the Seven Sacraments, the king had written a defense of the Seven Sacraments. In it, he had castigated Luther as a poisonous serpent and a wolf of hell. In gratitude, the Pope had bestowed on Henry the title Defender of the Faith, a title still carried by English monarchs. After the break with Rome, England's orthodoxy remained intact. Henry continued to insist on Catholic doctrine within the realm. Apparently, his goal was an English Catholic Church instead of a Roman Catholic one. The Statute of 6 Articles in 1539 upheld such Catholic articles as clerical celibacy, the private mass, and confessions to a priest. Only 2 serious changes marked the new way within the Church of England. The first was a suppression of the monasteries. The second was the publication of the English Bible for use in the churches. Monks in England were neither popular nor devout. One author called them foul, unhappy lepers who despoiled poor wives of the 10th egg. Wow. Their lack of dedication to their calling was evident in 1536 when Henry suppressed the smaller monasteries. The king gave the monks the opportunity either of transferring to other houses or of entering secular life. Fully one half chose society over another cloister. Henry used the monastic properties, almost 1/10 of the national wealth, to replenish the royal coffers and to gain support from favored barons and gentry who were given to or permitted to purchase the property. Monks received a reasonable pension, but Henry succeeded by this one stroke in reducing the opposition to his policy and gaining new friends. The second change in the Church of England occurred when Henry ordered that an English Bible be installed in all the churches. In principle, the Church of Rome did not object to versions in the native tongue, provided they were orthodox and authorized. Translations from the Hebrew and Greek, however, were bound to offend Rome because she had for centuries based crucial doctrine on questionable translations found in the Latin version. Interesting. The most noteworthy example is the Latin rendering do penance, where the Greek means simply repent. Rome, therefore, could hardly welcome news of another English Bible, especially in the wake of Wycliffe's heresy. Nevertheless, shortly after the publication of Erasmus's Greek New Testament in 1516, with its preface urging the translation of Scripture into the common tongues of Europe, new versions appeared in German, French, and English. These fed rising national sentiments and Protestant convictions. The pioneer in the translation of the English Bible was William Tyndale. A zeal to place the English Scriptures into the hands of the common folk burned in Tyndale's soul. Tyndale. After receiving his ordination, he once expressed his frank amazement at the ignorance of the clergy. When a fellow priest resented this observation, Tyndale hotly replied, "If God spares my life, before many years pass, I will make it possible for a boy behind the plow to know more Scripture than you do." Ooh, that's a good line. I'm a big fan of that.
But I know it's a punishment. Oh, and then we ended up playing a game, but you remember that. It's always, it's definitely more fun if you get some interaction. There's a reason you're doing it. But the reason I'm doing this is for the punishment. We both tied, so we lost. So that just makes me think I got to step up my game for next time, which we record in a couple days. I'm going to do some research today. I was talking about that story structure earlier. Hopefully I can hopefully I can implement that next time and make it intriguing. Like the thing.
If God spares my life, before many years pass, I will make it possible for a boy behind the plow to know more Scripture than you do. Tyndale soon learned, however, that such an undertaking was not welcome in England. After study at Oxford and Cambridge, he was forced to flee to the continent. to live, labor, and print the New Testament. Early in 1526, he began smuggling the first copies of his work into his homeland. The following years, Tyndale translated portions of the Old Testament and brought out an improved edition of the New. Church officials continued to hound him. However, and in 1536, he fell into their hands. After 17 months in prison, Tyndale went to his death at the stake. His dying prayer was, "Lord, open the King of England's eyes." Events in England were already moving swiftly toward an answer to Tyndale's prayer. During his months of imprisonment, another Cambridge graduate and reformer, Miles Coverdale, had published the first edition of his completed translation of the Bible. The edition was basically Tyndale's work, supplemented by Latin and German versions. Then, after a year, the Matthew Bible appeared. It was the work of another English reformer named John Rogers, who thought it was wise to send forth his translation without his name attached. The Matthew Bible was virtually a well-edited compilation of Tyndale and Coverdale's work. At Thomas Cranmer's request, however, Henry VIII authorized that this Bible, revised by Coverdale and called the Great Bible, be bought and read throughout the realm. Tyndale's dying prayer was answered, at least in part. The sudden access to the scriptures created widespread excitement, so much so that Henry issued new regulations limiting the reading of the Bible to wealthy merchants and aristocrats. Greater freedom, however, was just a matter of time. After the king's death in 1547, his only son, frail 10-year-old Edward VI, followed his father to the throne. Edward's mother was Jane Seymour, whom Henry had married after he had executed Anne Boleyn on charges of adultery. The power of government under young Edward rested with a group of royal advisors who were in sympathy with the Protestant Reformation, so official English policy shifted abruptly in the Protestant direction. During Edward's brief years, England saw the 6 Articles repealed, priests allowed to marry, and the old Latin service of worship replaced by Cranmer's Book of Common Prayer in English. In 1533, Cranmer also produced the 42 Articles which define the faith of the Church of England along Protestant lines. This swing in a Protestant direction came to a sudden halt when Edward died in 1553, and Mary, the daughter of Catherine, ascended to the throne. Devoutly Catholic, Mary tried to lead England back to the ways of Rome. For a short year, she outdid her father in intolerance. She sent nearly 300 Protestants, including Archbishop Cranmer, to the burning stake. Later, John Foxe collected the vivid reports of these martyrdoms in his Book of Martyrs, and incited the English people to a long-standing horror of Catholicism. He succeeded in giving Mary the name by which history still remembers her, Bloody Mary. Though Mary was probably the only really pious English monarch of the 16th century, she committed an unforgivable blunder in making martyrs. By the 1550s, England had enjoyed almost a generation without interference from Rome, so the country interpreted her devotion and her marriage to Philip of Spain as a betrayal of her people. She died a broken and disappointed queen. With the ascension to the throne of Anne Boleyn's red-headed and fiery-tempered daughter, Elizabeth I, the Anglican Church assumed its distinctive character, neither Roman nor Reformed. Realizing the political necessity for religious peace, Elizabeth worked hard to achieve a compromise settlement. Although the Church of England remained a state church under the control of the monarch, Elizabeth astutely changed her title from supreme head to the more modest supreme governor. In accepting the Bible as the final authority, and in recognizing only baptism and the Holy Eucharist as Christ-instituted sacraments, Elizabeth's 39 Articles were essentially Protestant, but many articles were worded in a way that would satisfy both Catholics and Protestants. The liturgy of the Church retained many Catholic elements, and bishops in apostolic succession governed the Church. Elizabeth, like the monarchs after her, received and believed advice that a bishop-led church would be easier to control. In time, English church officials spoke of this compromise as the best of both worlds, the via media, the middle way between Protestantism and Catholicism. Some of the exiles who were forced out of England during Bloody Mary's reign were not so sure. When they returned from the continent to Elizabeth's establishment, they began to cry out against the ease in Zion. They had read their Bibles and had developed their own ideas about a true Reformation in English. We know these reformers as Puritans, preachers of personal and national righteousness. The future was dawning. Thanks for hanging out with me for so long, guys. I think I'm done. Finished this punishment. It's not a bad one. Met some people, chatted with some people, read a little. Figured out my quad, which is pretty awesome. See if it gets the official seal of the approval for some of the people that kind of have taught me how to climb. But feels pretty good. Pretty solid, honestly. I'm going to go try it today, I think, if Mallory gets back from working on time. And I think I'm going to humbly thank you all for listening and end this live stream. Blessings to you. Hope you encounter Christ today.